Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio. So today, I do think it's time we finally address the elephant in the room. And that elephant is actually not an elephant, it's an Espeon. You see, we had Espeon VMAX revealed the other day. But it's not just the fact that we're getting Espeon VMAX, it is actually the special art of Espeon VMAX. And I think pretty much anybody can look at this and understand why this looks amazing. This is not one of those special arts. Let's take something like Galarian Slowking, the special art of that. Some people think this artwork is absolutely crazy, over the top, amazingly, beautifully brilliant. And some people aren't loving it. I'm one of the ones that aren't loving it personally. I can understand why it's amazing art. I can understand why people love it. It's not my personal cup of tea, and that's okay. But Espeon VMAX, I think, is in a different tier. I don't think it's one of those ones where some people like the style, some people don't. It is not stylized to the point the Galarian Slowking is. It's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And I think I'm right about this, because since this was revealed, I have seen so many people posting about how frankly over the top, amazingly, beautifully, brilliantly, awesomely wonderful this card actually is. It is really over the top ridiculous. So, okay, what's the problem? The problem is, as it stands at the moment, this is actually going to be exclusive to this particular set. Now, I mentioned this in a video the other day, and I did get a correction from the lovely Primal Lugia, and I've said this a million times before, I want to be the voice of knowledge and news and all of that in the Pokemon TCG, so if I am coming across and saying things that are not 100% entirely true, I want to be corrected. Now, I did say it's a Pokemon Center exclusive, and it kind of is, but honestly, calling it a Pokemon Center exclusive is kind of awkward wording. Yes, it is sold in the Pokemon Center, both physically and online, but it is also sold in certain Pokemon card gym stores, which are Pokemon card stores over in Japan that have essentially been given this, well, award, ranking, logo, accreditation, I'm not sure entirely what the best word is, but they are special Pokemon card stores that have essentially earned the right to sell products like this, and they are being sold there as well. So they are kind of a Pokemon Center exclusive, but they're also sold in certain select Pokemon card gym stores, so let me say that straight off the bat, and thank you to Primal Lugia for the correction. But the point is, this is not going to be a product that is going to be particularly easy to find. It is, in fact, going to be extremely difficult to find. Because we've seen these before. We have, in fact, seen them all over. Every time a new set comes out, we get one of these. And they are always very popular, and they always sell out pretty gosh darned quickly. So the last one before this was actually from Matchless Fighters, and it was Clara and Avery. That was the specific box that came out there. But you'll notice that the Clara and Avery set had one gigantic difference, and that is they had no promo card. Now, at this stage, we don't really know what the deal is. We don't know if this is a one-off or whether this is the new normal, i.e., are all the sets going forward going to have a special promotional alternate art, special art VMAX? Or is this just a one-off because it's the Eevee set? Because up till now, you've had your two boxes of the set, your sleeves, your deck box, and the box in which it comes. Now we've got that, but they're adding in this promo card. And that is going to cause all kinds of problems for trying to get hold of this card. Because boxes like the Clara and Avery box are difficult enough to get hold of anyway. These are limited products which are generally sold by a lottery system anyway, because they're limited products and they're very cool and they've got exclusive sleeves and deck box in. And they generally focus on a particular character, like Clara and Avery, and Nessa's had one for Shiny Star V, and all of that good stuff. And these tend to be, although the Nessa one isn't really a fair comparison, because Shiny Star V was much, much more sought after than your average set. So that was always going to be one of the more popular ones. And obviously the resale on the Nessa box jumped up very, very quickly. But let's be clear, these boxes as a whole tend to be pretty popular. So, firstly, we've got these boxes that tend to be sold by lottery, aren't available in many places, tend to be very popular. And now we add in the fact that they've got this Espeon in there. Except, I don't want anyone to be thinking about this as just a regular card, as a regular promo card. This is going to be, and I feel confident making this statement, though it is somewhat hyperbolic, one of the most sought after promo cards we've seen up to date. I cannot think of a promo card, except a couple of maybe very rare exceptions, that people wanted as much as this. We had the alternate art Eevee, which came when you bought 2 boxes of Jet Black Poltergeist, and that was a very sought after card, and I showed you when that came out, this card was being sold pretty much for, well, everywhere was selling it for basically 6,000 yen. Which is basically, you're talking £40, or because the majority of my audience is American, just over 50%, so you're talking $55. That is not a ridiculous price, and I've seen it, incidentally, online for about that price. It's an expensive card, don't get me wrong, but it's going for about the price of a booster box and a half. Which, don't get me wrong, is still expensive, but that's not ridiculous. And it was easier on release day to pick up 2 boxes of Jet Black Poltergeist than it is going to be to pick up one of these. Now, I did a video the other day about how Jet Black Poltergeist basically sold out everywhere, but it sold out like mid-afternoon. So the Celebi was out there. Incidentally, the Celebi as well was purchased from particular stores, not just anywhere. So they're kind of similar in that regard. But this is going to be, I imagine, a more sought-after promo that is going to be harder to find and be out there in fewer numbers. And don't expect this to keep being reprinted. Sure, boxes are going to keep being reprinted. I don't know if the promos are going to keep being given out for them. But these promo boxes, like we see here, are generally come along, and maybe there's a reprint or 2, but they don't tend to keep coming back and back like booster boxes do. Oh, and there is one more element to this, and that is the fact that Celebi VMAX and Celebi V are basically trash, and Espeon VMAX is really good. It's got the same ability as the old Espeon, the one, as I told you in the video before, I should have played in my Worlds deck in 2012, the one from Dark Explorers, and it prevents all effects of attacks other than damage done to any of your Pokemon with energy attached to it, which is a really good ability. It's then got an attack that does 60 damage for each energy attached to all of your opponent's Pokemon in play, which again is a good attack that can absolutely punish some decks. Seems like it's going to fit quite nicely in with Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX. And now, after showing you all of this, I'm hoping you see where I'm coming from. What we've essentially got is a ridiculous card in terms of artwork, which is actually playable as well, which is going to be very limited. This is going to be a ridiculously hard to get hold of expensive card within Japan. I desperately want to get hold of one of these, and I know I am not the only person that fits into that camp. That seems pretty fair. Now, the good news, the silver lining, if you will, for those of you that are not in Japan, don't worry about it. You'll be fine. Because you see, when this card releases in English, don't expect it to be a ridiculously difficult to get crazy card. It is either going to be in a set proper, and we have seen with things like Tyranitar, the alternate art, that they can still be expensive, but probably not to this level, or it's going to be in some kind of promo pack we haven't seen yet. We don't generally tend to get, like Japan sometimes does, these weird promo cards that are given out in weird ways. We tend to just get them either as ones you can go into shops and buy a pack with them in, or they'll just be in the set proper. So we're going to be much better off in that regard. I mean, the example I give quite a lot is Delmise and Cramorant VMAX. Over in Japan, you could only get them in that special set where you got one pack of each Japanese set up to that point, all 8 of them. And then you got a pack with a 1 in 4 chance of each of 4 VMAXs. Either brand new Cramorant or Delmise, or alternate art reprints of Cinderace or Morpeko. So you bought this product and there was a 1 in 4 chance of getting the one you wanted, which obviously wasn't ideal, and therefore meant that Cramorant and Delmise, and to be fair, they both were kind of playable, but Cramorant seems to be sticking around a lot better. They were very awkward and difficult to get hold of in Japan. They turned into pretty expensive cards. Over here, they were just in Shining Fates. And you just buy Shining Fates and you might pull them. And that's kind of my point here. Even though this is a ridiculous card in Japan and it is looking like it is going to be a very expensive promo, the price of which is going to skyrocket almost immediately, we shouldn't be worried outside of Japan. It's going to be in a promo pack or it's just going to be in a main set. If you want to get the Japanese version, well, that's going to be a little bit more of a challenge. But now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about all of this. I want to know your opinions, your thoughts, your feelings. I want to know basically anything you want to tell me. So go nuts in the comment section, but be nice, would ya? And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing is always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.